You guys remember Leroy? He's still here. Good evening and welcome to another Gribbly's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour. That time each week when I spill coffee on my lap and it really hurts. Whew. Whew. Okay, well, freshly back from the hospital with a new skin graft from like a suckling pig or something. I don't know where they get the skin graft. Anyway, you just can't win. You know who wants to drink cold coffee? But at the same time, you're carrying around a bucket of hot liquid everywhere you go. You bring it down to your garage. You're trying to light your pipe. You're trying to make a video. You're uncoordinated and clumsy to begin with. It's just a recipe for disaster. This is the Gribbly's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour. I hope you are well. I am smoking in my Country Gentleman gifted to me by Fireplug. Thank you so much, sir. I am smoking the last of a bowl of Peter Stockaby's Luxury Bullseye Flake, and I'm smoking it very carefully because this pipe has a little bit bigger bowl than I'm used to these days, being the lightweight, out-of-party shape pipe smoker that I am. And Virginias are a little higher in nicotine than the old Carter Hall and Englishes I've been smoking, and so I just want to be a little careful because I don't know if you feel this way, but I hate throwing up. Who are these people that don't hate? That's the real question. Like I've known people my entire life. One of my oldest friends, he doesn't really mind to throw up that much. I saw him throw up just for fun. He was also one of those people that wears shorts in the wintertime. What the hell's wrong with you? I made it like 20 years without throwing up. Last time as an adult that I threw up, I was like 20 years old, and I had some sort of sinus infection or something, and they gave me some super powerful antibiotics, took them on an empty stomach, went to bed. That's the fatal mistake, is going to bed, because then you wake up in process. It's just not my thing. Vomiting is it's not a hobby that I enjoy. Probably the single biggest factor in why I'm not an alcoholic. Thank you for all of your Ask Gribbs questions. By the way, have we done the intro? Let's roll the intro. Here's the intro. This is the time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity, while for some reason still entertaining its questions. If you are a piece of humanity with a question for me, leave it in the comments down below with the hashtag AskGribbs. I will answer any question you could ever possibly imagine, and even some that you can't. 4th of July yesterday. Had like 10 mass shootings across the country. That's cool, right? I mean, I guess fireworks, this is kind of, we've been doing them for a long time now. We need to up our game. It was also a full moon, and I believe a super moon, and some folks in the fora that I follow were attributing all the craziness of yesterday to the super moon, and I'm not sure that I disagree with that. When I was in college, I took an astronomy class, and the very, very scientific physics professor that was teaching it swore up and down that there was no actual effect of the moon on human beings. However, if you talk to anybody who's ever worked in like an institutionalized care facility, maybe for people who aren't quite all there, yeah, they'll swear up and down that there is. Cops also, I've talked to cops who say that there is an effect, that the moon has an effect. I think it's actually more likely that, it's not likely the moon has a direct effect on us, but I think what is more likely is that we evolutionaryized ourselves. That was a good one. That was a Gribbsism right there. We evolved to be a little extra crazy in cycles with the moon. Like, it's light out at night, we can't sleep. When you're cavemen, the moon being bright, that's a big deal. Nowadays, who cares? But, second brightest thing in the sky, right? And so you're gonna go a little crazy. You're gonna have some insomnia. What if our psyche got into a rhythm where it just dumps all of its weirdness on the full moon? Like, you're gonna be up all night anyway, you might as well get it all out. I don't know. Here in town, we had a officer-involved shooting. We had some other shootings. There was a triple stabbing the next town over. An hour away, a tree randomly fell on a woman and killed her while she was kayaking. Like, you're kayaking. You're accepting all this risk from the water, and then you're killed by a tree? I don't know. Is that the moon's fault? Maybe. 4 shark attacks reported off of New York shores. Yeah, like great whites take Manhattan. Yeah, it's the moon. Timber Drifter says, I certainly don't want to... Wait, what does he say? Where's this comment? I certainly don't want to encourage you to blast yourself with sugar. That question came up because I was talking with a fella originally from Asheville. There's your first mistake. He was explaining to me how that his favorite combination is a moon pie and yoo-hoo, and it's rare around those the parts where Timber Drifter lives. Yeah, so I had this great idea. I decided I was going to go to the grocery store and I was going to get a moon pie and a yoo-hoo and partake in my next video. And that shit's expensive. You can't just buy a moon pie. You got to buy a freaking like case of moon pies, and you can't. The same thing with yoo-hoo. I was like, I don't want a keg of yoo-hoo. So I'm gonna have to wait till I actually walk in a gas station, which is not something I normally do because I just pay with my card and take my gas and leave. That's how I avoid gaining even more weight. But, sir, you're going to tempt me into a gas station. Anyway, Timber Drifter asked Gribbs, what flies are you using lately and why? This is an interesting question. I was dead set on only using one fly this year, which is my Tenkara Adams, and I tie it on a size 12 barbless hook, and it's just thread and some hackle. Like, that's all it is, and I was going to just use that. But the problem is, when COVID happened, I tied so many flies that I still have them all, and I'm trying to work through them, and so I've got a bunch of these new flies that I like to use, and I consider it a challenge to only fish with this one fly. But you know, I'm always tying on droppers and stuff, trying to go through these other flies that I tied. It just drives me nuts to have them and not use them. But yeah, I tied up some size 16 Adams flies, very very simplified Adams. If you haven't seen that pattern, let me know. If anybody wants to see that pattern, you can check out my dirt cheap fly tying video. It's on the channel somewhere. Subsurface, my most productive fly has been a killer bug, and it is the simplest fly to tie. I mean, it's, you know, I enjoy it, tying it, but it doesn't challenge me as a fly tyer. Fish eat that fly like crazy. I took my wife fishing to a spot that had a lot of sunfish in it, and so I had all of my woolly buggers on me for that trip. My wife has never been fishing before. I wanted her to be successful. She was, caught a bunch of fish, and somehow in that process I lost all of my woolly buggers. Like my little pill bottle container of woolly buggers is gone. Was gonna go fishing with Brad last week, and I like panic tied a bunch of buggers. So I'm definitely gonna be fishing buggers now because Brad and I didn't get to go because he was sick, and I'm kind of sick too. I keep having this ear issue, but that's not gonna keep me from fishing. Right? How bad could an ear infection be? It's not an infection. They won't give me antibiotics. They keep saying it's allergies. I'm like, worms could be crawling out of my face, and they'd be like, it's probably just allergies. Whatever. So I got a lot of buggers. Tied my buggers in a size 10. So nothing around here, I don't know what you're fishing for, sir, but nothing around here is worth more than a size 10 unless I go to some of the places where Brad goes, and then I've got like a size 6, I think. I've got like 5 of those to my name. I tied a bunch back in the day, and I've finally gotten down to the last of them. I like gold-ribbed hare's ears, but find that they're not that productive. I know that's sacrilege, but that is my lived experience. Howard says, irreverent as ever, keeps drawing me in. I appreciate that. I'm glad to see you're still here. Happy Smoking 100s. Student debt. Should the feds pay for college tuitions? No punctuation, so I assume that is a... Oh, and then Collapse Experiment follows it up with the hashtag AskRibs. So I assume that's a question. What is the question? Should feds pay for college tuitions? I mean, I think the better question is, who goes to college? Like, I wouldn't go to college if I were starting out again. Like, I don't think anyone is really seriously arguing that the feds should just pay for college tuition. I think a more serious argument is, should student loans be forgiven? How much should they be forgiven? What kind of regulations should we place on the lenders? Should you be allowed to weasel out of the debt if you go bankrupt? I don't know. I think there's fair points on both sides of that. College is, in general, a giant scam. And if the federal government is going to be involved in loaning you money for a giant scam, I think it's reasonable to say, yeah, there should be some responsibility on the part of the government there. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, we bailed them out after we gave them a bunch, you know, there's like a government loan program. Like, why wouldn't we bail out students who, I don't know. nor do I care. So it's a good thing I'm bound by oath to answer these questions. They say the country is going down the tubes. I don't see tubes. Do you know where they are? I think it's a metaphor. Do you ever try Cherokee from the Country Squire? No, and I looked it up after this comment, and it seems, I don't know, is it associated with the old school Cherokee cigarette tobacco? Because I don't like cigarettes. But I will try anything. You know, especially if, you know, I don't know how my palate has changed now that I'm getting back into pipe smoking. I just made a big ramble about this. I'm open to anything. I'll try anything except for Prince Albert. Or Elizabethan mixture, and we're going to revisit that at some point. Fireplug 1701D, Ask Gribs. I no longer see the brown sugar Pop-Tarts in your videos to assure your safety. Are you still safe, or did they get to you? They got to me. Let's be honest, they got to us all. The real story is that was a good running gag for a long time, and then my phone took a shit and I lost the picture of the Pop-Tarts that I always put in my videos, and I always edited on my phone, so I always just popped it in there. And then I couldn't find the old one, and I forgot, and I kept making videos, and then it just kind of faded away. And so that's why you never see the Pop. I mean, I've got the original file somewhere. Collapse Experiment sent me a giant box of Pop-Tarts, not unlike the giant box of Moon Pies, and you know, look at me now. Can I assure you of my safety? No, not at all. Stephen Pearson 5718 asks Gribs, are you going to do any videos from the old smoky porch again? I like the community garden and massage parlor. Thank you so much. You only get to see a little bit of it out of focus because it's a total wreck in here. I like the community garden and massage parlor, but I think a blast from the past would be cool. I really miss the Smoky, but I am no longer allowed to make pipe videos in the Smoky because it is owned and operated solely by the cat. At some point, she started wanting to poop inside. I don't understand. Like, if I were a cat, I would never want to poop inside. I would specifically want to poop in the neighbor's garden. But I believe there are lots of other cats competing for the neighbor's garden, and so Pepper eventually decided that she needed to poop inside, and so my wife took pity on her and installed a litter box in what used to be my Smoky, and so now it is the Poopy. Couldn't keep a straight face for that one. All right, so yeah, the issue is it is taken over by the cat, and I do not want to stand over a litter box to smoke my pipe. Plus, the cat, she likes to hang out in there in the sun because the sun shines through there in the mornings. Remember that video I did of smoking nightcap in there, and like the sun was shining in through all the nightcap smoke, and it was like apocalypse now. Anyway, yeah, so she like goes in there and sits by a box of her own poop in the sun. And I don't have the heart to kick. Actually, I totally would kick her out, but I don't want to stand by her poop. Truckin' Piper Bob, who is a newbie to the YTPC, you should go check out his channel, says, Morning Gribbly, what do you hate most about fishing? Short answer, the thing that I hate most about fishing is the mental game, because there are times when I'm in my car driving to the river and I already know no matter catch fish, don't catch fish, no matter what, I'm not going to have a good time because I can tell my own mental state is not ready to accept the Lord's abundance. See how I made it spiritual there? When things are good, it doesn't matter if you catch fish. And when things are bad, it doesn't matter if you catch fish. And I have learned to recognize this about myself. And I can kind of tell sometimes, like, I want to go fishing, I should go fishing, I really need to get out, but I'm just not up for it. And that has been that's been a good lesson to learn. It's not always a good idea to go be by yourself in the woods and do a frustrating, I mean, let's be honest, fishing is frustrating as hell, even in the best of times. And so I guess there it is. If I'm too impatient to sit there and tie knots in tiny string and throw tiny things on top of rough water to try to bring a fish to the surface, if I'm too impatient for that, I have learned in my old age to only go fishing when I feel like I can humbly come to the experience. Like if I go and I'm impatient, then I'm not doing my job. I'm not being worthy of the experience of being in nature and blah, blah, blah. And you just need to stay home and drink. Collapse Experiment asks Gribs, should colleges be required to teach students about personal responsibility? Hell no, absolutely not. If you don't have personal responsibility by the time you get to college, it's not the classes that's going to teach you. When I was in college, my first dorm room interlocked with another dorm room. They called it a suite, but I don't like using the term suite mates because that just sounds weird. So my roommates in the other room, one of them nearly killed himself with alcohol poisoning. Was that first semester or second? It was early on. I think it was first semester, didn't come back. And then the other one got into a situationship with a girl down the hall, and she at one point knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I'm gonna prank Joe." Let's call him Joe. I'm gonna prank Joe by putting Tabasco sauce in his toothpaste. Great. This sounds like an awesome idea. I don't know why you're mad at him. I don't care. Yes, please do. So we let her in the middle of the night. She got a syringe, squirted like some sort of horrible Tabasco sauce. You know, she went to like some gas station in Texas or whatever. I drove all night to get there and got some like shit the bed hot sauce, squirted it into his Arm & Hammer toothpaste, and then she leaves. And in the middle of the night, we heard a giant explosion. The baking soda in the toothpaste reacted with the hot sauce, and the tube of toothpaste, which was nigh full, mind you, exploded, just burst, popped like a balloon. And it was in a mug, a vessel. And so let me give you a little physics lesson here. That shit rocketed up like the damn space shuttle, trailing hot sauce and minty baking soda toothpaste, hit the ceiling, bounced back several times, bounced around the bathroom several times, leaving this noxious mixture everywhere, all over the towels. The smell never left those towels, and there were plenty of other smells in those towels that got washed away. I don't understand what exactly she put in that toothpaste. Anyway, he wasn't even home. He was like gone for the weekend when that happened. Like it would make your eyes water to walk into the bathroom. My point is that there is no like class that you could send these people to teach them personal responsibility. And I was the one that let her in, so I guess you couldn't teach me either. College is not the time to do that. I would say, you know, at some point in high school when you're learning the quadratic equation or whatever Shakespeare play they really feel is important to stuff down your throat, maybe somebody should teach you to change a damn tire. Or file your taxes. It's a freaking federal requirement for every citizen, dumb, smart, white, black, whatever. Every citizen in this entire country has to file your taxes, but they don't teach you how to do it in government schools. Probably don't teach you how to do it in private schools either. I don't know. And I don't care. But like basic life skills that don't fall under parenting, like not all parents know how to do taxes. Not all parents are accountants. Why don't we hire an accountant to teach people how to do taxes? That brings us to the end of the Ask Ribs question, but the video is not over. I placed a couple of orders for tobacco and a pipe, and I'm gonna open it up here. I think this is the giant box that Pipes and Cigars used to send me one blend. That's some plastic that'll never leave the ocean. And is there anything in here? Yes, there is. Check it out. You know where this is going. We're gonna do a head-to-head comparison of Carter Hall and Chatham Manor. Let's get the old pouch note going here. See, John Galdieri and family. By the way, I got your comment about your email. I have not gotten your email yet because, I mean, I said last time I'm a terrible community member. Definitely not as moist as Carter Hall. Interesting. So I'm interested in doing like a head-to-head review between those two tobaccos. Let's see what's in the other box, shall we? What's in here? All right, let's see. We've got Cornell & Deal's Pegasus. Cornell & Deal's Sweet English. Doesn't quite fit with your extra. McBaron's Golden Extra. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all of them. That's why I bought them. And I bought myself a tin. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day. Amy Mack sent me a tin of this stuff, and I really liked it. Ashton's Rainy Day. a savory blend of Virginia and burley leaf with velvet black Cavendish. Black Cavendish, that's the kicker. That's the risky part, and that's everything I got. All that box is empty. So, yeah, the Black Cavendish is where things can go wrong or right. I find that it really makes or breaks a tobacco. So, I will be interested to put my newly reset palate on that. Put that on my palate. I mean, I'm not going to literally put it on my palate, but I'm going to smoke it with a pipe. Last but not least, since I'm getting back into things, I bought myself a new pipe, and I of course don't have any money, and so I didn't buy anything expensive. But I wanted something new. I wanted, you know, some of my cobs are getting old, and they don't look very good. And I'm of course a man concerned with appearance, you could tell, and so I thought I needed something a little more upscale than another Legend. Plus, Aristocob isn't around anymore, and I could always count on Scott to send me the handsomest Legend that he had in stock. And I don't know that I can count on any other vendors to do that. So I ordered something a little more upscale. Let's do a little unveiling here. Good Lord, that's a lot of bubble wrap. You ready? You ready? Here we go. Oh yeah, it's a Xenon Zero. It's a maple hardwood pipe with a green bit. That's what it is. Is the sticker centered? No, damn it. Drives me crazy. Why can't they just center the sticker? Please, I mean, who puts these on? Are they blind? But I wanted something just a little more, you know, a little more snazzy. And I'm interested to see how it will smoke because my other hardwood is one of my favorite pipes ever. And it is very, it's very attractive. The green in the picture was not quite this, it was greener. This is a little like leprechaun green for me. I was looking for something more of like a forest green. But it was $16, so I think I'll be okay. And that is all the time we have tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you. That's not acrylic. That's not acrylic. That's the same plastic they use in the other bits. It's just green. And that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me Ask Gribbs questions in the comments below, and I will see you soon. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.